everyone. This is Donna's Happy Hour. Just a reminder to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you get future notifications of the videos. And please leave a comment. Thank you. Have a great day.
She had a overwhelming personal strength and was not afraid to use that against other people.
Right, yes, that I did read in the book. What was also interesting is that she, which of course she wasn't convicted of, but what it sounds to me like she had killed several of her husbands and several people that for somehow unfortunately crossed paths with her. It wasn't even a vendetta or something that they had done to her per se, which is just so sad, being at the wrong place at the wrong time. As a matter of fact, last night I started watching the Zodiac Killer. And that was a serial killer in the late, in the late 60s into the 70s, and they actually never caught him.
Right, the San Francisco Bay Area.
Right.
They never really, there is some evidence now that it might have been this person or that person, kind of fits the bill.
Yes, yeah, they actually pretty much had it nailed down to who they really thought
the
it
film
was.
Does point the finger at one person.
Yes, yeah.
It was very interesting.
And unfortunately at that time, they didn't have, I guess, the real DNA thing down. Because remember they had gotten that swatch of blood, but who knows if they would have picked up, that was the person that he murdered, their blood, but you never know what evidence they would have found on it, on that. And I'm surprised that they haven't gone back to that and tried to get some DNA off of that. But that was another very interesting story. So tell us a little bit more. Like, let me ask you this. When did you know you wanted to write? Was this something that you back in high school, or, when exactly did you?
I've been writing in some capacity ever since, say, grade school.
Okay.
Not professionally, but I did contribute to high school periodicals and newspapers.
Okay.
Dabbled at writing fiction, nonfiction, and poetry. Can't say that, in my early years it wasn't going to bowl anyone over, but it's important to keep writing, and I have been writing over the years a number of things that haven't been published. But at the time, I had finished reading a true crime book, pretty horrific story, and I just finished, and I was saying to myself, I wonder if anyone had committed multiple murders, say, within 20 miles of my home. So I did a search on the internet.
Okay.
And I found this case regarding Lizzy Halliday.
Oh, wow.
And started to research it because there were a lot of gaping holes in terms of what was her motive. And if her husband at the time, who seemed to have enough warning signs that she had some mental instability and dangerous temper tantrums.
Right.
That what was it about their relationship that he kind of took her back into his home, and then shortly afterwards she killed him. So,
right.
And those things, big question marks in my head, led me to further and further research and further down the rabbit hole, because one fact led to another, and so it took quite a long time to actually develop a chronological timeline of her life. So really what we have here is not only a true crime story, but a criminal biography of Lizzy Halliday from pretty much her emigrating to this country from Ireland, to committing multiple murders. As you said, previous husbands had great deals of trouble with her. She was somewhat of a black widow killer and was motivated in those cases by, it seemed like, her husband's pensions.
Right. Yes, I was going to say, so it was for her to some degree financial gain.
Yeah, it definitely was in the early cases, and I traced a murder that happened. Her and her first husband may have been involved in when Lizzy herself was only 15 years old. May have been the first murder she was involved in, and that was for financial gain, as well as to get this woman out of her husband's life. Her
Now,
husband at the time.
wasn't there also a cousin or somebody that disappeared, or a relative of some sort? Am I
Are you
mixing it
referring to
up?
the neighbor, George Klein,
Might have been
in
a neighbor.
Burlingame, New York? While she was living with her husband at the time, a neighbor's son disappeared.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes.
Yeah, George Klein